Hello everybody, my name is Courtney and today I'm going to show you step by step how I draw a woman's face. All you're going to need is a pencil, paper, and eraser. I won't be using a reference or a specific person. I am showing you just one of the many different ways to draw women. Today I'm drawing a woman who looks like the girl next door. She is someone who is friendly, approachable, and possesses a beauty that is simple. Let's get started. I begin by drawing a circle. I lightly go around the circle several times with my pencil, making it as round as I can before moving on. Now I begin to extend the bottom of the circle into an oval. The bottom of the oval should be more narrow than the top, almost like an egg shape. Next, I draw my midway lines. The first line I draw is vertical and going straight through the center of the head. The next line is horizontal, dividing the face in half. Then I place the eyes along the horizontal line. Notice the difference between the two eyes is about the length of one eye. I am now roughly sketching in the general shape of the eyes to fill in the space for now. I'm drawing lightly because I may have to adjust some things later. Now I find out where the mouth should be placed. You can do this by drawing a triangle. Where the triangle ends is where the bottom of the mouth should be drawn. Before I move on, I draw the woman's neck so that her head isn't floating around. Typically, a female's neck is drawn slightly more slender than the width of her jaw. I don't spend too much time on her neck because I know later her hair will cover part of it. I'm placing the end of her nose a little less than halfway between her eyes and mouth. Now that I have a general idea of where all of her features will be located, I can begin to flesh out some details. I am now detailing her eyes and applying a little more pressure with my pencil. I'm generally aiming for the shape of an almond. Above the eyes, I draw an arched line to indicate her top eyelids. Now I'm moving on to her eyebrows. There are many different ways to draw eyebrows. I'm choosing to give her brows that are slightly arched and pointed at the ends. Going back to her eyes, I add eyelashes. I try not to add too many individual eyelashes. I also draw in the shape of her iris. Notice the circle of the iris is drawn so that her top eyelid slightly overlaps it. I try to avoid drawing the circle in the dead center of the eye, or it will give her a very wide-eyed, startled expression. The pupils are very simple. Just draw a small black circle in the center of the iris. Next, we can move on to the nose. I start by erasing the line from before so that it won't be in my way. I'm giving her small nostrils that are slightly tilted up. On the outside, I draw small rounded lines to indicate the shape of the nostrils. Now I move on to drawing a basic mouth. Like all of her other features, there are all kinds of different mouth shapes to choose from. I begin by drawing the wavy line of the top lip, followed by a middle line. I draw the middle line with a slight dip in the center. Lastly is a rounded line to form the bottom of her mouth. If at first you do not like the way her mouth turns out, feel free to reshape it until it pleases you. Now with her features established, I work to give her face a more defined shape. Because she's the girl next door, I want her to have soft, friendly features. I'm not giving her much of a narrow chin or a strong jaw, although these features often work well and can add character. Now I begin to add in the dark parts of the drawing. Beneath the chin, I draw a shadow. I color in her eyes as well, leaving small parts of the eye white. This indicates the reflection of light. Let's give her hair now. I'm not going to do anything too crazy with her hair. The girl next door has a simple and practical haircut. I want her hair to be loose and falling slightly over the sides of her face. This is done by drawing long, smooth lines that run past the length of her jaw. Notice I'm giving her hair a soft wave, but not so much that it looks like an intentional hairstyle. Sometimes I like to draw really tight curls, or sometimes I draw very long hair. When drawing wavy hair like this, I try to make the lines very smooth, like flowing water. I will come back to the hair later to give it depth, but for now, I have a general shape that I'm content with. Once again, I'm adding some shadows and defining her features a little bit more. I imagine that the parts of her hair against her face are blocking light, so I cast a shadow over her eye that is created by the long bangs. I do not shade in her top eyelid. Do the same thing to the other side of her face. Now I'm returning to her hair to give her strands. Notice I am not drawing in each individual strand. Instead, I divide her wavy chunks into small, narrow strands. I am slightly shading in bits of her hair so that it does not appear too flat. Once I'm satisfied with the look of her hair, I like to add a bold outline. The last thing I do is play around with a few finishing details. I like to cast a slight tint to the tip of the nose when drawing women. Make sure the shadow isn't too heavy or else it'll make her look sick. At this point, step back and take a look at your drawing. And remember, you have an eraser. Fix anything that looks uneven or not quite right. And now, we have a finished drawing. Like I said, there's a huge variety of women in the world. This is only a guide to get you on your way to drawing the female face. Thank you for watching this video. If you thought this tutorial was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please comment below. Bye!